hold on. Just a second. Actually, that light is I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Computer red light on. And these on. Better that. Much better. Alright, so those of you saw earlier this year, I made an update video, but it was pretty bad. And it was like 2 hours long. And I was just like, my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm gonna do another one. This is an update to the update video. So, a lot has happened already this year. You know, of course, with work, I'm still doing fire alarms and working with a really good company. You know, it's a local company, but it's really good. You know, it's very competitive, and I really like it. So just off the bat, you know, I have a job that I really enjoy doing. So you know, I've really been able to get my life together, and you know, I've been able to branch out and try things that I've never tried before, and it's really exciting. And I'm finishing up my first like really big job that I've done on my own, and I'm really proud of it. It's not my best work, but I've got another job in literally the same building that I'm gonna be a lot more proud of once it's done. So yeah, but I've been doing mostly warehouses. I have been doing some suites, which is what the two in the same building are. They're suites. One is an entire floor, and the other is just a different part of the building. Oh, okay, wow, that's pretty cool. So, yeah. It's been able to, you know, this job has been able to give me a lot, you know, and I mean a lot, you know. It's given me lots of opportunities to learn, and, you know, on top of that, you know, just be around some great people, some really, really good people. And I've been able to see new things, see new places, revisit some old places, revisit some of my favorite buildings. My first really big job was in my favorite building, Northwood Tower. So that was pretty fun to do. So we're not going to talk about Rocket League right now. Right now I'm talking about me. But oh gosh. um but yeah, actually that's a perfect point to get to. So those of you who know me well know that my PC died 2 years ago. I was trying to clone the hard drive to an SSD, and it failed multiple times. The third time I tried it, it corrupted it. So now my PC that I put over $1,000 into is just but you know, I'm hoping I can send it in recovery, and I can get everything recovered. Since it was a 1 terabyte hard drive, a hard disk drive, I don't even know what that's gonna cost. It's probably gonna be like $1 for every gigabyte. It's probably gonna be $1,000. Got a lot of stuff on it. So anyway, let me put this over here. So yeah, and unfortunately my laptop does not have the capability to run Rocket League and live stream like my PC did. So I've tried it, All right, I have tried it, and it failed pretty bad. So I had to discontinue both streams, which I mean the PC could handle just fine. Although I found out recently that a 580 uh, graphics card is going to bottleneck a 3700X. Those who know what I'm talking about. So it's, yeah. When I do get my hard drive recovered, I am definitely going to look for, I'm definitely going to look into a new graphics card. So, yeah. And in other news, my parents bought a piece of land out in the country, and we're going to be building a house on it. So that's very exciting. We've been looking at houses for a couple of years now, and just haven't really been able to settle on anything. Like we looked at a house, we've looked at a couple houses that look nice on the outside, but in the inside they're designer houses. You know, I don't like them. You know, I'm especially picky with houses. I'm just like, if it looks like a designer house, I just don't want anything to do with it. So we're building a kind of a custom house. The layout was, the builder does have his own layouts that you could choose from, but you can modify them to some extent. And we're actually going to you know, build a house on it, and then we're going to build like a shop in the back. Now, ordinance says that if you're going to build any additional structures, they have to be built with good taste, as in they have to match your main property, your house. Like if you're building a guest house, it has to look similar to the main house. So, yeah, but the shop will be really good for me and my dad to work on projects. It'll be a good workshop, and it'll be a good place for me to have my music equipment because you know, I've got 3 guitars, well, a guitar and 2 bass guitars, and you know, I got a couple amps. One of my amps is pretty big, so definitely having an extra space for that will be nice, especially being away from the house. You know, won't really be able to, no one will really be able to hear it as much. Probably definitely won't feel the vibrations as much. Although when my neighbors down the street play, I can feel and hear it a little bit. So, yeah. But it's coming together. It's really exciting. But my dad wants to sell this house. Okay, we're not going to talk about things that are. We're not going to talk about things that I'm not talking about, okay? So, I'm trying to get through this. I'm trying to focus and talk about what's going on with me. So, please let me stay on track. So, hold on. Let me recollect myself. So, my dad is friends with a real estate agent, and he told him summer is the best time to sell because that's when a lot of people are moving. So, he's wanting to sell the house that we're in now this summer. And, you know, where we're going to be, I have no clue, and that's really scary. You know, like I don't want to be like, you know, even more crammed than I am now because, you know, my room is a mess. Okay? My room has been a mess for a couple of years. It's pretty bad. You know, you know, you can always be like, "Oh, I'm not as bad as other people." Well, when you step back and you look at it, you know, you realize like, "My gosh, how did this get so bad?" You know, it's just like, you know, when you look back at the way you were 4 years ago, it's just like, wow, I really have changed. You know, like going through old texts, old pictures, anything. And, you know, I think it'll be better to you know, because the bedrooms are going to be bigger. I definitely want to be able to spread my stuff out a bit more, because right now I've got my elevator parts display in my room, which is really driving me crazy. You know, having to be around that thing all the time is just. And, you know, I've got my workbench in here too, my improvised workbench, which is just a plastic picnic table. And I don't like having that in here. You know, I'd rather have a separate shop outside of my room. And to do that, you know, you need a bigger house. You know, you need you need a lot more property. And yeah, you just need to have that so that you can expand and put whatever you need on it. And we got quite a bit of land. We got like almost 2 3/4 acres of land. It's quite a bit. So it'll be real good for us, I think. It'll be really good for the our pets. And I know I'm really excited about it. It's not too far from here either. So that's really what I look for, especially because my company, you know, every Monday I have to drive out way out west on 281. So you know, as long as it's not like, you know, over an hour away, I can deal with it. But yeah, that's what I've got going on so far this year. Um, we are at 560 subscribers, which yeah, it's pretty good. You know, it's been growing quite a bit. You know, like ever since I you know, had the big meetup with Andrew, Jason, Gustav, Chase in 2019, my channel has just started blooming. You know, like I went from having like 50 subscribers to 85, and then I hit 100, and then a little while later I hit 200. I don't remember when I hit 300. I remember hitting 400. That wasn't too long. That was like last year. And then like maybe 2 months or so later I hit 500. I was just like, wow, that's crazy. And I actually played all of my instruments. I played both of my basses, my fretless, my fretted bass. I have no clue. I played my guitar and I played my trombone, all in one live stream. And while I'm not doing bass or guitar live streams anymore, I am still doing cover videos. I don't think I'll ever stop doing cover videos. I am still doing lyric videos. Right now, I'm mainly focused on Dwayne Bailey songs. Um, a little later on, I will do some songs that Jason Sheff has done, some covers that he's done, like Love Letter and Beginning is Always Raining, because those are really fun. I like those songs. So, yeah. But those of you who don't know, I was hiding a bunch of Montgomery Vector parts in my house for like a year, and like over a year, and then I was able to store it in my brother's shed, just so I could have it out of my room. And then finally, like I was hoping to see Andrew in 2022. He didn't end up coming. He didn't end up coming 2023. At the end of 2023, Jason and Jared came down here, and I was finally able to give them that. And I let quite a few people in on the secret that I had Vector stuff for Andrew. And, you know, Jason was the very first one I told, and then I told Jared. I got Jared in on it, and then I told Justin. And, of course, you know, that's kind of obligatory, you know, because Justin's just like a freak out of his mind for anything Montgomery. And But yeah. But we had a really good meetup, and honestly, Jared and Chase in the same room, that is definitely a show worth seeing. Like, I would pay handsomely to see that again. Those two are like, oh my god, it's like they've known each other forever. It's just like, it's just like Andrew and Jacob. Um, and Chase is a really good friend. I've never lost touch with him. I know I still talk to him. I talk to Gustav like every once in a blue moon. Like I'll see him on one of my live streams and he'll say hi. I was like, wow, okay. Um, but yeah, I've only seen Gustav the one time in 2019. I know he's been back to the U.S. since then, but not back down to the South. But the relationship he has with Andrew is strictly business relationship, so it's understandable that they don't hang out like socially, which I understand. But Gustav's a really cool guy. I liked him a lot. You know, for those who don't know who Gustav is, if you've seen the blooper videos, he's the cameraman with the curly hair. Where Andrew's like, let's put some in the cameraman's curly hair. And just looking around, it's just like I'm so glad, I'm finally gonna be able to get out of this. Like I would show y'all like what my room looks like. Actually, you know what? I guess I'll show you because it's pretty bad. Got stuff down there. Laundry basket. Stuff piles up. It's pretty abysmal. Over here is especially bad. This is why I am excited to move. These drawers are falling apart. I got stuff here. This isn't just like all clothes, this is just like stuff that's on top of the drawers that I need to put away. So, yeah. This week was a long week. So that's why I sound the way I do. I came home and I was like, I'm just really beat after this week. I locked my keys in my truck yesterday, so that took quite a bit out of me, trying to figure out where the spare key was. So, yeah, never fun. And I didn't even know that my dad had it. He was like, well, you should have asked me. And I'm like, well, I didn't know that you took it. You took it without my knowledge. Because, it's my truck. I have both the spare key. I mean, I still have the spare key to the car. I need to give it to my brother. So, yeah. I do need to bring that over to him. But, I'm really excited to be moving also because of, all of my decorations, like all my posters and stuff, like this one, I got that one, and all these up here, and then I've even got some over by the door here. I got a big Chicago poster signed by, or not signed, just a tour poster with a VIP, and then I've got one that is signed by all the members, and then, wait. Which one? Okay, never mind. The one that was signed by all the members is actually up there. It's up there. All their autographs are on it, and some of them use like a really weird like chalk pen that like rubs off really easy. I'm just like, geez, I better protect this. So yeah, I know Wally used that. Wally used one of those pens. I was just like, what is that? But yeah, I also have this picture of me. Turn this off. I can't see it now. How about this? So, no, not really. Alright, you can see it fine here. So, there is me next to Jimmy Penko and Robert Lamb, and there's Lee Loughnane right there. And then up here, you've got Raymond Islas, Ray Herman, Tony Abroda, Lauren Gold, and then you've got Wally Reyes Jr., Eric Baines, Neil Donnell, and yeah, they put on a really good show, and it was actually the first time that I'd seen Eric Baines with Chicago. Last time I saw Chicago, Brett Simons was the bass player. But Eric Baines is a really good bass player, and he sings too. He sings some leads, and I was just like, wow. I was expecting Lauren to sing the alternate part on Hard Habit to Break, and I was just like, oh god, here we go, because Lauren, his voice is just like, it's so unbelievably crippling. It's just, like, if you want to hear what he sounds like, listen to Alive Again from like 2022 onward, and you'll hear it. And it's pretty crazy because he actually sang what was originally Bill Champlin's part in Hard Habit to Break before Eric Baines came into the band. And I was just like, oh god, this guy is really ruining it. It's like, Hard Habit to Break. Oh my god. You know, I mean, I haven't really gotten to know his music so well, so that's probably why. That's probably why I don't like his voice that much. But yeah. I am planning on doing some videos of some songs that I like, pitched up and down half step. Like Love Me Tomorrow by Chicago, and Next Time I Fall. I just need to figure out how to interface my laptop with my turntable and my receiver. I need to figure out how to do that. I have the, I did the video where I put a little knob on it to adjust the speed, so I don't just have 33 and 45. I can adjust it to anywhere in between. And yeah, it works pretty good, kind of like a DJ. Kind of like a DJ setup. So yeah, it's cool. And I don't know how comfortable he would be with me saying this, but I've actually been talking to one of my biggest influencers. I've been talking to Dwayne Bailey, and he is one of the nicest guys that I've ever talked to. I've been really fortunate to be able to talk to him these last few months. He's given me a lot of inspiration over this past year, and yeah, he's just a hell of a guy. He's a very talented guitar player. He's a great singer. He managed to dethrone Peter Cetera for me. I never thought that Peter would be dethroned because of his voice, his bass playing, and the fact that he shares a birthday with me on top of all that. And somehow Dwayne was able to beat him. Dwayne's voice is just, it's something else. Like, I haven't heard anyone that sounds quite like him. I haven't heard anybody else that sounds like him. If you listen to, Private Parts, Dancing the Marmora, that's Dwayne. All those songs were written by Dwayne. He sang all of them, played the guitar on them, and he's got songs from his solo CDs where he did all the singing and the instrumentation. He played all the instruments. He can play guitar, he can play bass, he can play piano. He's a lot like Terry Kath. and he was also very, very heavily influenced by like he was extremely influenced by Frank Zappa, much like Terry Kath. Um, and he was also very influenced by Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, Jeff Beck, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and just so many of these guys. Those classic guys that Terry also liked, and they were all influenced by those same people, but their playing styles just turned out so different. Like it's amazing, like it just shows that all you need is to be given the stuff, you listen to it, and then you make your own thing with it. That's the creativity in it. And Dwayne and Terry both had that. Dwayne still has it. You know, like I've heard about him, releasing a new. He's been stockpiling new stuff for a long time, waiting to unleash it on the world. I think Jason, no, I think that was Jason Chef that said that. Either way, recently, I found out that Jason Chef recorded with Danny Seraphin, and I was like, whoa, I did not see that one coming. I was just like blown away. And, I could tell that, back when Jason was in Chicago, at least at the very beginning, like in 1988, 1989, he really didn't like Danny. He was just like, oh, I think the album was very successful in spite of your playing. So, like, I could tell, like, he was one of the ones that voted Danny out. And it's just like, wow. And, now they're golf buddies, and I heard that he actually apologized to Danny at the Rock Hall of Fame induction in 2016. Just like, wow. So, yeah, when I saw them in concert, the only three remaining original members are Robert, Jimmy, and Lee. Danny's not in there. He hasn't been in there since 1990. Dwayne was booted in 94, which is really terrible because he was dragged away from his own band that he put so much work into building up for a year and a half, and then he just had to walk away from it all. It's just horrible. And then they dump him off after, he did all that to join Chicago. Like, he made so many enemies when he decided to join Chicago. And for them to just do him like that, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. He did all that, and they did that to him in return. Hello! Welcome to the channel! Glad to have you here. So, yeah, I try not to talk too much about Chicago, but they have been a big influence in my life since 2019. Their music got me through some tough times, 2020 and 2021. So, yeah, they're always going to be a very big part of my life soundtrack, especially because they have some songs that I recognize from my childhood, from another time in my life. Question 67 and 68, Dialogue, Baby What a Big Surprise, Once in a Lifetime. That's 4 songs that they have that I recognize from my childhood, and that's pretty amazing. The only other person to have a song I recognize from my childhood that I hadn't even heard in like 14 years, Kenny Rogers and John Denver. Kenny Rogers, I hadn't heard his song Coward of the County in 14 years. And then I finally heard it again in 2022. I was just like, wow, I can safely say I haven't heard this in 14 years. And John Denver was a song called Annie's Song, beautiful song. I also hadn't heard that in 14 years. I always remembered the lyrics and the way that the melody goes. and then I was just hearing it, like, Annie song, huh? And I hear, you fill up my senses, and I just go, I'm just like, no way, I have not heard this song in forever. So music is always going to be a very big part of my life, you know. It always has been, it always will be. um, my mom is a huge John Denver fan. My grandma is a huge John Denver fan, which is my mom's mother. um, it's a pretty musical family. One of my great uncles is a guitar player. He says that I play better than him, and that's just like, in my family, like, he's kind of the unspoken, like, leader of the family as far as music goes. So, like, being at the top of the chain, telling someone's like, that guy plays better than me. I'm not going to say it's like Jimi Hendrix saying that about Terry Kath, because it's definitely not. And that's another thing I like about Dwayne. He gets really angry if you say that if you say that Terry Kath was better than Jimi Hendrix, he will flip out. Well, not flip out, but he'll go on a tangent, and he'll shut it down very, very quickly. It just shows, like, how quickly lies can be fabricated from stuff like that. Just like, I heard that Jimi Hendrix learned the entire Sgt. Pepper album in 2 days, but no, he just learned Sgt. Pepper. That was a fault on my end. He learned Sgt. Pepper. That doesn't mean he learned the whole album. But he learned that song in 2 days for a gig with the Beatles. So, anyways, that is my update on my life. Of course, I'm still going to be playing bass. I haven't sustained any injuries to my fingers lately. No serious injuries to my fingertips these days, though I do feel like I have a blister here. But my skin is so dry, I don't think water will ever get to it again to form up like a blister. So, yeah, more covers will be coming soon. I'm going to do one this weekend. I'm going to try and do a lyric video this weekend. And, of course, let me know what you guys want to see or hear from me. I try and be active in the community part of my channel. I try and make posts, whether it be something funny or inspirational, or, just to, stay positive. Just something to keep me positive, and spread that along to you guys. Like, and it's also crazy to think, 4 years ago, 4 years ago, a pandemic broke out, and the world just hasn't been the same. The world has become a very dark place since then. The world has become quite a living hell since then. But, in this hell, I'm still making it. I'm definitely a lot better off than I was 4 years ago. And, I'm very thankful for it. I never take it for granted on how fortunate I am. My parents are a big part of it. I can't thank them enough. My parents did a really good job raising me. And it takes a lot to, notice, it takes a lot to recognize that. But my parents definitely did. And I'm very fortunate that, they've been here for me to support me and help me in any way that they could. They gave me a car. And, they've given me, every bit of advice that they can offer. And you know, a lot of people, like I've heard Bill Champlin say, like, you know, when people lose their kids or they lose their parents, you know, they turn them into such angels, and you know, it's not true. You know, it's not honest. It's not truthful. And you know, and I would say in a lot of cases, yeah, that is true. And you know, but nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. Nothing's absolute. Nothing is absolute in this world. So you just got to make the most of it. And you know, just if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything. You know, that's really the best thing that you can do. You know, you'll be doing good by not doing bad, you know. And there are some cases where you're doing bad by doing good, or you're doing good by doing bad. But, you know, as long as you're doing what you think is the best, it'll all be okay. So, anyways, I hope y'all have a great weekend. We only got we got like 1 week left, or no, we're halfway through with March already. But hope y'all have a great weekend, and hope y'all have a great spring. As always, I will talk to y'all really, really soon. Have a good one.